Okay guys, so these are all of my highlighters, bronzers, contouring powders and creams and cream highlighters. Anything that has to do with highlighting, contouring, or bronzing my face is all laid out right here on the same little dirty towel that I use to declutter my powders. I'm basically taking one drawer out at a time and just laying everything out on my bed. So I used a towel to make sure I didn't get any makeup on my bedding. So yes, so disregard the dirty towel. And please know that once I declutter everything, I go through and I clean everything, wipe everything down, sanitize everything. And so yes, enough rambling, let's get to it. Okay guys, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, so I think I'm going to separate these items into 3 sections. I'm going to go through the highlighters first, the bronzers, and then the palettes. Okay, so I'm just going to get started because I am definitely feeling a little bit overwhelmed at this point. I did not realize how many highlighters I had in my collection. It's way too many. The first thing I'm going to get rid of is this Wet n Wild Mega Go highlighting powder. And this is in the shade, is there a shade written on here? I don't see a shade written on here, but I may have used this powder once. It's very pretty. It's a rose gold type of highlighter. Very pretty. Oh, I don't know, I almost want to keep it. Oh my goodness. You know what? I think I'm going to keep this because I really don't think I have a highlighter in this rose gold shade, and I really love the way it highlights without looking glittery. So I'm gonna keep this. This is gonna be tough for me because I am a highlighter junkie, and it's gonna be really hard to part with some of this. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this one. I'm definitely keeping my Artist Couture powders by Jackie Aina. And if you don't know, these powders are now being sold at Sephora. I have not even used this. This one is in the shade Le Bronze. And this one is in the shade Le Peach. And you know what? Le Peach might, you know what? The Le Peach might give me that rose gold type of shade. Let's see. Oh, guys, that Wet n Wild powder is giving this Le Peach powder a run for its money. I didn't realize that this had such a rose gold type of undertone to it. So I'm definitely going to be keeping the Le Peach powder, but I think I'm going to go ahead and part ways with the Wet n Wild highlighting powder. I don't know, I might have to keep this to do a video to see how they really compare to each other on the face. So I'm definitely going to keep this until I'm able to do like maybe a high-low type of video, one side of my face with high-end products and one side with more affordable products, and compare this powder with the Artist Couture one. So yeah, keeping these. This is my Becca highlighter in Champagne Pop. Again, brand new. I never used this because I have one already. The one that I have already is broken, but I think what I'm going to do is fix the one that I have that's broken and use it. And I also have the Champagne Pop shade in my Jaclyn Hill blush palette. So I think I'm going to go ahead and part with this one, give it to someone who can put it to use. I have all of these e.l.f. baked blushes, which were initially purchased to use as highlighters. I guess that's why they are in my highlighter drawer, but I never even touched these. I've been having them a long time, and so I am going to go ahead and part with these. Same with this powder by Black Radiance. This is in the shade Ginger Snap, and this was supposed to be a dupe for MAC's Gold Deposit. And it's really pretty, but I do have gold deposit, and so I never used this, haven't used it in forever, so I'm going to get rid of it. Speaking of MAC's gold deposit, this is it right here. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, but it is broken. I dropped it and it did break on me, but I am going to repair it. I am definitely going to keep this. This is a staple highlighter. It is, I believe, my first high-end, or yeah, I would say high-end. It's my first high-end or department store type of highlighter that I ever purchased, and I absolutely love it still to this day. I still use it fairly often. I haven't used it since I broke it because I don't want it to get all over the place, but I love it and I will always have this in my collection. Now this is the Whisper of Guilt highlighter that came in MAC's Christmas collection this year, and this is what it looks like. I absolutely love Gilded Honey. I actually have it in a blush highlighter duo from MAC that I purchased in the 2016 Christmas collection, and so I wanted a backup of it before I knew that it was going to be permanent. But now I have this and I absolutely love it, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this. I have this highlighter from the MAC and Mariah Carey collection. It has a real copper tone to it. Let me see if I can swatch it for you. Here it is swatched right there. If you can see, I hope the camera's picking it up, but it has a really pronounced copper undertone to it. I can get away with wearing it as a highlighter, but I mostly use it as a blush topper. I love orange blushes, and so I can use that as a blush topper, but I haven't used it very much because I love the packaging and I hate to mess up the imprint, the facial imprint in the highlighter, so I don't use it very often, and honestly this is more of a collector's item to me. Along with that, I do have the MAC and Mariah Carey body highlighting powder, and I have used this. I really love it. It just makes your shoulder or your, you know, wherever you use it, you can use it on your legs, you can use it on your whole body if you want to. It gives a very beautiful bronzy glow. I love this stuff, and so I'm definitely going to be keeping that. I am going to be parting with both of these highlighting sticks. This is one by Clinique. It is the Clinique Chubby Stick Sculpting Highlight Illuminator. Is there a shade on here? It's shade number 01 Hefty Highlight. I never use this thing, so I'm going to part ways with it. And this one is by Sonia Kashuk, and I can't see the name of it, but it was supposed to be a bronzer, but of course this shade was way too light for me, and I thought I could get away with using it as a highlighter, but as you can see, it's still a little bit too deep for me to use as a highlighter. Even if I blend it out, it looks more like a blush on me than a highlighter. So I never used it anymore. I did use it for a little while when I first purchased it, but I don't use it anymore, so I'm gonna part ways with it. Here's another highlighter by Sonia Kashuk that I will be parting ways with. This came with the Sonia Kashuk Knockout Beauty Collection. Beautiful highlighter, very subtle, very subtle. I mean, I can almost use this as a finishing powder instead of a highlighter. That's how subtle the glow is, but I have not picked this thing up in forever. I was actually keeping it just because I love the packaging, but I'm so over being excessive and keeping things just for packaging. I really want to get to the point where I'm keeping only the things that I know I'm going to use, and so I'm going to part with this. This is the NYX Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator. Have not used this in forever, even though I really like it, so I'm going to let it go. This is the Lorac Tantalizer Body Bronzing Luminizer. You know what? I am going to keep this. I love using this on my legs when I'm wearing shorts or a skirt or something like that. So I am going to keep that. I have this High Beam highlighter by Benefit. It's a deluxe sample size. Never use it. It's time to let it go. I am going to be keeping my MAC Luster Drops. And I have it in the shade Barbados Girl. I'm going to be keeping that. Now this deluxe size sample of the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Moonlight. You know what? I'm going to at least keep this and give it a try. I may eventually get rid of it, but I am going to at least try it out before I part with it because I want to see how these work. Now this is the Dunes at Dusk powder. This was part of the MAC, I forgot the name of the collection, but I never quite knew what to do with this powder. And you know what? It's just time to let it go. And so I'm going to let this go. The remaining highlighters I will be keeping. And I'll just show you really quickly. This is my Laura Geller Baked Body Frosting Face and Body Glow Gilded Glow Powder. This is a body illuminizing powder, and so I'm definitely going to keep that. Very pretty. These two highlighters was part of one of the MAC Christmas collections. I can't remember which one, but this is Shaft of Gold. And this is what it looks like. I'm definitely keeping that. And this one is called Oh Darling. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Oh Darling is either a permanent highlighter now for MAC or it will be. And I absolutely love those. I have these Becca highlighters. This one is in the shade Champagne Gold. It was a limited edition highlighter. It reminds me a lot of Fenty Beauty's Trophy Wife highlighter, and so that's why I'm keeping this one. And I also have the Becca highlighter in the shade Opal, a staple for me. I love it. This is a cream highlighter by MAC, and it is in the shade Improper Copper. And you know what? I love this. Barely touched it. If I can give it to someone who will actually use it, I will part with it because I do have it in another palette that I'm going to be showing you in a minute. This is my Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess highlighter in the shade Heat Wave, and this is what that looks like. Definitely keeping this. Absolutely love it. This was supposed to be a dupe for MAC's Whisper of Guilt, and so I purchased this before I got my hands on Whisper of Guilt, and I really love it. But to me, it's not exactly like Whisper of Guilt at all, at least on my skin tone. And of course, I will be keeping my Anastasia and Ambreezy highlighter. It looks like that. Beautiful. This is my highlighter by Laura Mercier in the shade Indiscretion. I love this highlighter. As you can see, I broke it, I dropped it, but I will be keeping this and using it up. It is beautiful. This is one of those highlighters that gives you that glow from within. It gives you the glow without the glitter. Love this one. Here's my Fenty Beauty highlighter duo in the shade Ginger Binge and Moscow Mule, and this is what that looks like. Definitely keeping that. This highlighter is by Fashion Fair, and it's in the shade Golden Lights. It's broken, so I can't open it for you guys, but it's actually another dupe for MAC's Gold Deposit. I may part with this. This is gonna go in the maybe pile. And I have this highlighter by Lorac. It's the Tantalize Me Baked Bronzer, and again, another subtle bronzer, subtle glow without the glitter. But it is somewhat, I don't know, it's got that coppery undertone that I don't really like as a highlighter, but I do like as a blush topper. And depending on what look I'm going for, sometimes I could get away with it as a highlighter. This is gonna go in the maybe pile as well. I may go ahead and part with this one, even though I just knew I was gonna keep it, but I think I might actually part with this one. Okay, so my battery died and I had to put it on the charger for a minute, so I'm just going to show you these last few items and then I will be done. So I have this Beverly Hills Glow Kit, and this is the one in that glow, and I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this palette. There are 4 highlighters in this palette. You have Sunburst, Golden Bronze, Bubbly, and Dripping in Gold. These are not my favorite highlighters, I have to be honest, but I am going to keep this palette and try to get some more use out of it. However, if I don't use it within the next few months, I am going to depart with it. Last but certainly not least, I have this palette by The Balm, and it's called the Manizer Sisters, aka the Luminizers. At some point I do want to start a series where I am rating each category of makeup that I own, but I gotta tell you, the Balm highlighters are definitely in my top 5, I would say. Maybe top 3. And here they are. There are 3 highlighters in this palette. There is Mary Luminizer right there on the end. In the middle is Cindy Luminizer and Betty Luminizer. The camera is not doing it justice, but I love these highlighters. Okay guys, so this is my highlighter and bronzer drawer. Everything is nicely organized now. I can't even describe how much I love it when my makeup is all nice and organized. Next, I'll be decluttering my bronzers and then palettes. And I have been dreading getting to my palettes because, yeah, I have quite a few palettes to get through. So anyway, thank you guys so much for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate it. As always, remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made by God, and He loves you. And I'll see you in the next video.